The feedback I'm getting from people is that they like devices. Different devices to work with different energies. There's a lot of talk now about a topic of electroculture. You know, I guess it's atmospheric energies, electricity in the air around us, and making copper devices to put into the ground to enhance the growth of plants and vegetables. I'm a firm believer in this. I've done some of that work myself many years ago. But I'm also a firm believer that when we create things, whether we create devices, whether we think about with things, we need to be aware of our thoughts. We have to know what we're thinking at the time we're creating, because that energy will go back into the device that you want to build, you want to create. So we must be very mindful of this. When we go and buy materials, there's energies in it when we're working. If we're having a bad day or, we're not thinking positive thoughts, put it off to another day. It's very important that when we create, we put positive energy into the devices that we're making. I know I made a device many years ago, a very positive device, and was well received. And a coworker borrowed that device and thought that he would make his own. Well, he copied it perfectly, but it came out very dark and very black because he didn't have positive energy when he was creating it. This is why, if you follow my videos, if you follow my content, this is why I promote meditation. Meditation, simple meditation, following your breath, helps you to quiet your mind so you are aware of the thoughts you're thinking. So for example, if you want to build a copper device, see that copper device in your mind in its completed stages. And then stage by stage, piece by piece, create it here. I see my devices in my mind, but I never get all the information at once. I get a little bit of information, and then I'll probably make a quick sketch, and then I start to cut some metal. And as I work, as I create, as I take that first step, more information will come to me. So that's very important as well. And I do talk about this in my book, The Time Is Now, on how I started making devices and the process of becoming aware of energies and information, slowing the frequency down, and creating them in this realm. So very important. I know it's maybe not as much fun, but if you want to design things, if you want to create, give a little attention to your physical form. Become very mindful of the food you're eating. Become very mindful of getting some physical activity. Physical activity helps creativity. It helps us work with the new energies. It's very important. A little bit of exercise. I exercise every other day. I don't do it every day, but I do it every other day. I'm very mindful of fasting. Fasting has become a big part of my life, and for me it works. I'll do a 24-hour or 36-hour water fast, and that is perfect for me. I can go longer, I can go shorter. It's just better than counting calories and dieting. So I do some exercises every other day, minimum 3 times a week, and I'm more mindful of the food I'm eating. I'm eating better quality foods now, not so much junk food. I used to eat a lot of junk food in my life. So just by becoming aware of these little things, you get your mind correct, and you can work with better energies, and you can create better devices. And when you're creating those devices, the way I do it, I will get information about sizes, but I'm not an exact kind of guy. I get as close as I can, but if I'm soldering things together and it's off a little bit, I'm okay with that because I have the vision in my mind. More important than being perfect in this realm is having your mind perfect when you're creating, when you're slowing down those energies, when you're manifesting. The same holds true with when I'm lining up stones on my property. I have them facing east, but I just look and see where the sun came up and I line them up the best I can. Hanging stones in trees to balance the energy. I listen to my intuitive voice. I'm told which trees to hang it in and which heights from the ground, the distance from the ground the stones should be, and they're all different. But I listen to my inner voice on that. And meditation, keeping your physical body tuned up, it all helps with receiving that inner message. So when I do create copper, if you've been to my house and seen my pyramid and some of the rods that I make, I use copper, brass, magnets, solder. I have learned, this is a little tip, I used to just use lead-free solder. You can buy it anywhere, but I found it wasn't strong enough. So what I did was I sourced out, you can get it online, I believe. It's called silver solder. It has a high silver content in the solder, and it's stronger. It holds better, but there's a learning curve. Because it's a little bit harder, I would say, it takes a higher temperature, so you have to practice a bit. I don't think a conventional soldering iron would work for that. You need a little torch kind of, so you get that purple flame, purple-blue flame where the heat is, and then you heat up the copper and the solder flows better. You also need a different flux. You have to use a flux that you put on the copper. So I do use silver solder now. I find it works a lot better for me. I also paint my devices. Some of it I leave clear, but most of the things I've made, the bigger handheld devices in my pyramid, I do paint them. I get information about certain colors I should use on certain parts. And don't forget, color is vibration as well. Color is frequency. So we're working with different frequencies, the frequencies of the metals, the frequencies of the colors. I will also use light. There's all kinds of light sources available, inexpensive now. What is light? Particles moving at a faster speed. Different frequencies again. So I incorporate light into my designs as well. These are just little tips. I know a lot of people are interested. I will probably do some videos showing you how I work, but I don't know how it will be received on social media, because if I'm working with like a torch, sometimes they consider that to be not so safe, and they'll take down the video. So I have to be careful. I can kind of explain it. But I make all my own dowsing rods. I work in wood, copper. I don't have a lot of tools. You don't need a lot of tools. On another note, I'd also like to mention that, in my case, there's never the right time. There's never enough money. There's never enough knowledge. There's never enough anything. So what you do is you just start. Don't put it off. Take that first step. Get a few little materials. Make a little sketch. Decide what you want to make and get going. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait until you think you have enough of what you need, because you never have enough. I think that's part of the way we've been programmed in this realm. Just jump in, get working, and be creative. If we all just get a little more creative, we'll shift the energies with our mind. Our mind is the greatest tool. Our mind is what directs everything and creates everything in this realm. So if we all just get started being creative, whether that's baking, whether that's painting, singing, working with copper, doesn't matter. It's the creative process that's so important. So I just wanted to share a few thoughts and ideas with you. Sometimes I tend to ramble and lose focus on what I'm talking about. It's part of being in the energy and connecting, and what information I'm supposed to pass on and what information you want to hear. So I hope this helps. I will make more videos. So if you have any questions, put it in the comments and I'll do my best to help you out.